What's up, guys? This worship leader, you got to check this out, had a message to send from the stage while he was in the middle of church. You could tell that he had an ulterior motive, and it was handled right. Stay to the end. You're going to see what this pastor had to do about it. But this was interesting, and I got a lot to say about this kind of stuff because this isn't the only place that these kinds of things are happening, but it just so happened to be exposed, and it happened to come up in my feed, and I want to talk about it. Let's get into this.
For those who looking at me funny, I still will hide your word in my heart. For those that come here to spectate, I will hide your word in my heart. No matter how tired you may be, you still got to find his word in your heart. It's not here to see the next person who can sing. I'ma hide your word in my heart. You looking at me funny, but yet you sit there, bro. I will hide your word in my heart. I know what God has for my life, and I'm a winner. I will hide your word in my heart. Just like Pastor Tate, did you miss he's preached earlier? God's going to raise us up in front of those who looked at me down. So as you are looking, you're going to see me go up, up, up. As you sit there looking, you're going to see us go up, up, up. And I'm going to laugh at the devil. And I'm going to win over the...
Okay, so first things first, I think we can all agree worship is not worship anymore. It's just not the same. When I heard this and listened to it over and over, I mean, I got a good laugh. I mean, that's pretty much all I got. And it still makes me laugh, even after seeing it so many times. But worship is not the same anymore. There was no ounce of worship in what he was saying. Like, even the people in the back, if you noticed, couldn't even tell what was going on. And everything that he was saying, it wasn't giving any reverence or anything. There was like a bunch of hype. And that's what happens. That's what's going on in a lot of these platforms and a lot of these pulpits. The hype messages and the praise of more and more for us is what's being sent out. But it's like, man, the point of worship, true good worship. See, and I like worship. You know, I'm a worshiper, man. I love to worship God. And that just reverent worship, it's not there. It's not there. This was forced. This was definitely forced. You can see it. It feels forced. He's really trying to be his own hype man. He's really trying to pull somebody else in. Like, okay, you guys aren't reacting to what I'm saying, but let me say this is what Pastor said, and try to get you to try to get you to come in, try to get you to join in and feel what he's feeling. But there's absolutely nothing there. There's no value in what he's saying because it's not worship. So even if you're there, I don't know if I should worship. I don't know if I should take offense to what you're saying because it almost seems like he was attacking the congregation. So people around him almost seem like they're confused of what's going on. They're confused of what's really happening. Like, is this happening? Is he talking to us right now? Or maybe he just has some things to work out in his personal life and he's using the platform here at church to let that out. Y'all gotta excuse me on this laughing because I'm telling you, I've watched this a bunch of times and I just find it so hilarious. Worship is supposed to be to God. Let's get back on track. Worship is supposed to be to God. Simple as that. But at no point in time did he praise or worship God. He went in on, as you guys are sitting here looking at me, he's pointing very harshly to the congregation. And I'm going to let you guys be able to see this back because we're going to run it back for good time's sake. But he's pointing very harshly to the congregation. Makes you wonder, is he attacking them? Is there someone there? You know, I wish I could see the congregation's response and the congregation's face so I can see, is he talking to them? But later on in just a minute, when you get to hear what this pastor's about to say, because he comes up in the middle of the live and corrects this, but it makes me wonder, is he attacking the congregation or did he have some things to say to the people that he knew might be watching the live? Did he use this as an opportunity to say, look at me, I'm going up, up, up? But a lot of people probably have negative things to say about him in his personal life. Let's check this pointing the fingers out one more time.
In my heart. For those who looking at me funny, I still will hide your word in my heart. For those that come here to spectate, I will hide your word in my heart. No matter how tired you may be, you still got to find his word in your heart. It's not here to see the next person who can sing. I'ma hide your word in my heart. You looking at me funny, but yet you sit there broke. I will hide your word in my heart. I know what God has for my life, and I'm a winner. I will hide your word in my heart. Just like Pastor Tate, did you miss his preach earlier? God's going to raise us up in front of those who looked at me down. So as you are looking, you're going to see me go up, up, up. As you sit there looking, you're going to see us go up, up, up. And I'm going to laugh at the devil. And I'm going to win over the...
Not even the praise team behind him wanted to respond and sing with that, because it did look like he was getting very, very, very attacking towards the people there, because he started moving. It's all in that body language. Started moving around and started, really pointing at the congregation, because they probably really just weren't responding to the worship. And you see that a lot. People get offended. These praise and worship leaders, sometimes even pastors, you see them get offended because the congregation isn't responding to them in the way that they want them to respond. But I mean, you got to be honest, when people are going to church, and people are going to God, they're going for something real. They're going for something true, honest, sincere, authentic. You know what I mean? They're not going for the pomp and circumstance of it all, if you will. They're really wanting to have a true encounter with God. So when people go somewhere, bro, even the most regular person, they can probably even feel too that this really isn't any good kind of worship. Like the presence of God isn't being welcomed into this place in any type of a way. Like we're not ushering in the Spirit of God. And I was glad to say that, there was the pastor of the church, at least, he did come and had some things to say about it. But even in what he was saying, I do appreciate the fact that, he came in and corrected it for the sake that they were on live. And I feel like that's the reason why he did it. I mean, he's going to explain it in just a second. You're going to see it here. But I feel that you should know as a pastor, just before we watch it, I'm just going to share my honest thought and my honest opinion. I feel that as a pastor, as a leader, you should be actively involved in all the auxiliaries of your church, because you need to know what's going to be going on, because you're the shepherd of the home, if you will. You're the head of that home, if you will, right under God. So it's like you need to make sure that you're treading careful and you're aware of everything that you could possibly expose to the people of God that are coming to your church. But let's hear what he had to say.
Can we clap our hands for our youth pastor, Anton Brown? Let me say this. I love everybody, but I want to do this. I want to say to the whole church and to the ones that are outside, y'all are not broke. I apologize for that statement that was made, saying that the church was broke and ugly and ratchet, whatever else was said. That is not how we roll. We're not going to call the people of God broke, amen? And so as the pastor, that was my member, and I'm going to talk to him, and it was done on live, and so I have to apologize while the live is going. We do not operate like that. You guys are not broke. We can't call you broke and then actually sow a $20 seed. Say amen. And so I want to apologize to everybody. If anybody was offended, anybody got upset. I seen some of your faces like, y'all wanted to say, nigga, please.
So, pastor pretty much in a long sense said we need to keep these lights on. So before we show up next week and ain't nobody in this building anymore because they all got called broke, we need to make sure we keep these lights on. So he stood in and said what he needed to say. Could have left the last part out, but I mean, yeah, I said I wish I could see the look of the congregation, and the pastor pretty much just told us right then and there, the look on the congregation's face made them want to say a few things. But it's safe to say that this gentleman's probably not going to be leading praise and worship for this ministry anymore. But it's just, it's very interesting, man, that the church has changed so much. And what's so interesting about that factor is that we serve a God that doesn't change. He's always the same, yesterday, today, forevermore. But yet the church has changed so much to the point where I feel that it's lost. I truly feel that the church is lost and it doesn't really know where to go. Should we follow the trend? Should we stay the way that our grandmamas did church? Should we include this new wave, this new hip style? I just feel that the church has gotten lost, and I feel that we need to get back to our basics, man. I feel like we really need to get back to our basics. But that's all I got for you guys on this one. I appreciate it if you guys stayed this long as always. But that's all I got. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.